So we're moving on to Tireni. Ratema is she's a planter as well, but she's a different kind of planter. She's a planter of people. She goes around, she's connected to hapu all over the Bay of Plenty, and she's encouraging, inspiring people to become involved with the flora, the fauna, their catchment, etc., and just be part of the solution. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you please welcome Tireni now? She's coming as I speak.
Video to play. Is the video going to play?
Yeah, let's push that.
Tēnā tātou katoa, me mihi ka tika ki te haukainga o tēnei takiwa, e rere ana te mihi. Me mihi ka tika ki ngā kōrero o tēnei pai kōrero ki a koe te whanaunga ki te taha, ki tōku taha no Ngati Raukawa ki whare puhunga, e mihi ana ki a koe Quinton. O tira ki a koe pāpā no te kaipara, e rere ana te mihi. Tēnā tātou, my name's Tireni Ratema, and it's a privilege to be standing here today to share some of the mahi that we've been doing with Ngati Uenukukopako. The video that you've just seen is a snapshot of the landscape that we have back in our tribal area. The lament or the ori that you just heard it's a waiatatangi, was by one of our eponymous ancestors, Henemoa. And if we have any kapahaka fanatics in here, you may have come across Henemoa in the Matatini space. So Today I'm going to be talking about a project or an event that Ngati Uenukukopako has recently completed, and the journey of that project. I'm not going to focus too much on the what we've done, but on the how we've done the mahi. I think that's what it's going to be best use of the next 10 minutes that I have with you guys. So this mahi it's a grassroots approach. So it's ground up, it's working with whānau and hapu to mobilise really action on the ground around our natural environment across our tribal area. I'm going to be talking about some of the key principles and the lessons that have been learnt along the way. So who are we? We're based, Ngati Uenukukopako resides on the eastern shores of Rotorua, at Te Arawa Te Waka, and we are made up ecologically of 2 rivers. We've got the Waiōhewa, and we cross a body of water, Rotorua Nui a Kahumata Momoi, out to Mokoia, and that's spanning down from a mountain range there on the east side, you see on the map, Whakapau Ngākau. We have 4 marae within our rohe, and it's quite important that we've connected with them throughout the mahi that we have achieved through this kaupapa. So from here we're going to talk about the first principle around rangatiratanga. So rangatiratanga for us through this project, kahui tai ao tūroa, just a little bit more on that, sorry, before I continue. Kahui tai ao tūroa is the National Māori Conservation Hui. It's a biannual event that takes place within every 2 years, obviously, but it's hapu-led, whānau and hapu-led. And it started back in 2014 and then has taken place every 2 years since then, with different hapu around the motu taking up the leadership of that in their respective area. I just want to mention some of the potautoko. There's a national committee that supports the hapu to deliver this kaupapa, and that's Papa Joe Harawira. We've got Ora Barlow Tukaki and Dean Bajent and also Morgan Cox. And so Kahui Tai Ao Tūroa is all about bringing kaitiaki Māori together to work together, inspire and share at one hui. So a bit like this, but for kaitiaki Māori specifically targeted at. So our hapu back in 2020 decided to take up that challenge, and I'm going to go through some of the principles that we've learnt and practiced along the way to make the event delivery a success. So rangatiratanga, coming back to the slide in front of us, rangatiratanga, so we knew that to be able to carry a responsibility of this kind across inviting the motu to our area, that we needed to work first on carefully weaving our people together. Ka rāranga ngā tira. And so with that, we decided to have wānanga. So for us, wānanga or people gatherings, basically, and marae-based, calling all our people together, holding a space where our people can come together and build relationships and talk. What have we been up to? Genuinely connecting, not just through head because we want to deliver a successful event, but with heart because I genuinely care about you, your well-being and what you've been doing in your life. So it was a big mind shift game, I think, for us in terms of getting out of our individualistic thinking mindset, me, my, whānau, I, and that ego space into we. So that was a really big element of our kaupapa, is that we had to move into a place of we rather than I. We had started our feet, so with what we had and what we knew. So very grassroots, very grounded in the reality that we are facing back in our area and what that meant for us. So we didn't want to blow it up and be something glorious that we are not. So we started talking to our people. What was the reality that we were living at place, and what sorts of things do we need to work together and make a meaningful difference to work towards this kaupapa. KTT or Kahutai Aotearoa also built the opportunity to build awareness around responsibility. So for us, as Ngati Uenukukopako, he tirohanga Māori, we're not land owners, but land carers. So there's a whakatau ki whatungaro te tangata toi tū te whenua. So man will disappear, and land will remain, basically. And so we're of that thinking in our mission to deliver KTT, Kahutai Aotearoa. So it was a gentle process, and I just want to pick up on the kōrero that Matua George Matthews shared this morning around walking more gentle on our earth. And so being more gentle with ourselves and the process that we, perhaps our upbringing or our backgrounds, and then being able to be gentle with others. And if we can do that with ourselves and others, well, then we can also do that for our environment. So it all starts with us. So, and we know that, and we've also had other speakers talk about the well-being of the whenua, ka ora te whenua, ka ora te tangata. So if the land's well, we're well, and if we're well, the land can be well. So all of that stuff we've packed into, or some of the main points, I guess, around rangatiratanga and what that meant for us. Another thing about, before I shift off the slide, is that we made sure that our tamariki mokopuna were included in our mahi. So right from the get-go, we made sure that our kids were the centre, because it was something, when you have differences in a group, we can sometimes get, we can sometimes be tripped up by that, by our own views of things. But if you put tamariki in the middle, in the future, it just changes the whole game. So we knew that, so we had to be very smart around how we engaged our people, and so we knew that our tamariki mokopuna were surely the way forward when talking about working together. So whanaungatanga was another key principle, value that we worked with, or was an underpinning principle, I guess, of our mahi. And so we know that relationships and interconnectedness is everything. But we're not just talking about, I want to know you because I want you to do this for us, or I have an agenda that I want to achieve, I need to know you and be in touch with you, but more of a genuine friendship. And so it's really getting that mind and that heart to work together. And that's been one of the really key success points of our mahi, is being able to balance those two things. So at a deeper level, I guess it's holding those wānanga spaces. I think we might have had about 6 or so over the last 3 years, our 3-year journey, to allow our people to come and have space to be able to slow down. So we're living in an age where we're time deficit, or we don't have time for this and we don't have time for that, but in our wānanga space, it was a space to be still, coming back to the marae, our cultural base, tikanga, te reo Māori, and all of those things serve as rongoa. So arts that are able to heal and guide our people to that place of well-being. So whanaungatanga, relationships with ourselves, so coming back to sit centre again, and therefore with others, and also the relationship that we have with our whenua. Because what happens is that we start talking about our whenua, land and water, like it's a commodity and an asset. But for us at Ngati Uenukukopako, we encourage and promote and believe in a relationship with the whenua and with the wai. And that comes from spending a lot of time there and listening. So that's our whanaungatanga principle. I've just got a few other points there about our relationships being authentic, respectful and truthful. Manaakitanga. So this is a quintessential element, I guess, of te ao Māori. And manaakitanga for us is all about compassion, care and understanding. So we know when we bring groups of people together, we have a lot of differences. But we see that those differences are gifts that each of us bring to the kaupapa. And so we really promote compassion, care and understanding. Manaakitanga is all about slowing down. We're too much in a rush. We want to achieve things. We want to get a result, and it's all process. There's a step-by-step process that we can all map out. But actually, if we slow down and listen to the whenua, and listen to the waterway and our natural environment, I think that our solutions will come through. Manaakitanga is also about humility for us. So putting others before us, and when I say others, I mean our natural environment. So knowing that we are not the centre of the universe, but we're a part of it. And we co-exist with a number of other species or taonga alongside us. Mātauranga Māori, so our journey toward the delivery of kahui tai Aotearoa, within our wānanga we would takahi whenua. We would organise hikoi or walks across our land and to our waterways from one marae to the other. And we had our kraua. We're so lucky to have our kraua that was able to recite and retell us all of the different mātauranga wāhi tapu across our tribal area. So it was intentional and it was purposeful, our wānanga, these spaces that we held for our people to come to learn. And we're just very fortunate that we had the support of our koeke to be able to share the different tikanga that took place across the land and waterway, and also our customary practice, those traditional practices that we have practiced but have somewhat been buried underneath some of the industrial and urban development in our area. And just one other point on that is whakapapa. So whakapapa was an obvious thing for this kaupapa, but I just want to mention it here is that the stories that we've been told to us, the lament that you heard in the video initially is all whakapapa. They're all interconnected genealogical ties to those that attended our wānanga. Te reo te haukainga, so sometimes projects can get so big, and a national project like this, we're certain to, or intentional at maintaining te reo te haukainga, the voice of our people. We're only a little hapu on the eastern shores of Rotorua. We wanted to make sure that our voice wasn't lost amongst all of the growth that the project took on over time. We done that by going around to each of our marae and interviewing our koeke, so we were able to share their stories through the event, and we also made sure that those stories and narratives that we had were shared out to our whānau and through different activities that we delivered. Whakanuia, so the last one is acknowledging all of the efforts that people make and give towards a kaupapa. So that's really important, is that 100% of our project Kahui Tai Aotearoa was voluntary, and we made sure to acknowledge everybody's efforts. We had a huge suite of kai kōrero that contributed to the event of Kahui Tai Aotearoa. We had a number of haukainga that's become a part of the delivery team to deliver the event. So we made sure to show gratitude and acknowledge the different contribution that everybody made. And just in closing, the key things we learned is to keep things simple, is that we can overload with information and then people lose focus. So we like to, or we know to, moving forward, is to keep it very simple. Secondly, to be patient. So coming back to that time thing again, is that we want things now. We're in an age of instant gratification. So be patient with ourselves and others in our work. To slow down, probably is a big one. And in my professional role, I see a lot of catchment groups that they want to get, they just want to achieve the goal, put the ball in the goal in terms of what they're wanting to achieve in their area. But I would advise to slow down. Bigger does not mean better. And we need deep roots. It's a bit like a tree when you plant it. You want its root system to be nice and healthy before it starts growing berries and those sorts of things. But some people want the berries and to eat it straight away. So that's another big thing that we've learnt. And the final statement is in a reference to Auntie Kathy Jews. He kaupapa aroha tēnei te kaupapa tai ao. Me aro tō hā kia papa tuanuku rawa ko rangi nui. So that just means that the work that we do across the land and waters to take care of it is one of the heart. And to focus your intention and your passion to the well-being of Mother Earth and Father Sky. Kia ora rā.
Should I sit down? Yes, please. Please stay active. We just want the panel.